Hey there everyone, Dr. Beth Westy here, and I wanted to pop on and talk about women who have felt like they have been overweight their entire life. This is a really, really tough thing for a lot of women to realize, admit to, be a part of a group of people that feels like, oh my gosh, I've struggled with this forever. Or for a really long time. Why am I on this constant struggle bus? I want to get off. How do I get off this struggle bus? And you're not alone. There are so many people who feel like, oh, I've struggled with this or that, or I've tried this or that, and either nothing works, or it works short term, or I end up in the same place that I was, and this has been going on for the majority of my life. I do specialize in nutrition for women. That is my niche. That is what my expertise is in. My book, The Female Fat Solution, is on Amazon. My podcast, The Female Health Solution, is on iTunes. And then I work with women more one-on-one in my 12-week program where I really dive into a meal plan and nutrition guide that tailors nutrition for your hormones and your cycle. But there are women who feel like, oh my gosh, I've been overweight my whole life. Oh my gosh, my family's all overweight. Ugh. And so you feel like this is kind of the path for you, and that every program you've tried sucks and is not going to give you the right result. I totally get it, right? And I've seen this a lot. Especially with women that I, have chatted with recently. Hi, Melanie. But it's one of those things you feel like you're kind of alone. For a lot of gals, you feel like you're on a little island of, I'm the only one struggling, and I've been struggling forever. Like, yeah, so-and-so may have had a problem, but they got past it, and I'm still, having a hard time. So it's a real lonely place to be. So that's why I want to jump on and talk about this. I've been struggling my whole life. What is the problem? What is the deal? And I want to talk about a few of these things just to kind of branch out into, because I firmly believe that the body has an amazing ability to shift and change. And it's just, finding the right key to unlock your body's potential. So in a few of these things here that I'm going to cover, these are just some different avenues to explore and go down. And some of them, you may have done, some of them you may not have even thought about doing, but it really makes a big difference. So the first one is obviously nutrition, right? But I'm not just talking about eat healthy, eat clean, blah, 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 because literally every gal that I chat with has already, oh yeah, I eat healthy. Oh, I eat clean. Oh yeah, I did the Whole30. Oh, I've done Weight Watchers. I've done Jenny Craig. I've done X, Y, and Z, right? They've been there and back again. And they really want something that's going to shift and change for them and make a different lifestyle for them. So for nutrition, what I'm talking about is finding the right nutrition that matches your body. Like, clearly, if it was just simple as eating clean, you wouldn't be struggling, right? So you're not alone. Again, you're not alone. And again, when we talk about all these programs and all these other nutrition guides that are out there, it's really geared for men. That's why men get these amazing results. I was chatting with a gal today, and she's in about week 3 of my program, and she's like, I'm doing really well, blah, blah, blah. I'm down a few pounds, which isn't the goal necessarily right away for women. We talk about losing inches first, but getting more energy and all that stuff, because women lose weight differently than men. And she's like, but my husband's been doing this, and he's been cleaning up his diet and da-da-da-da, and he's lost 16 pounds. And I was like, I know. The male body is just designed totally differently than the female body, and the female body is designed to store fat. So if you're struggling with hormones or something like this, yep, your body's going to respond slower. And a big key to this is just sort of having patience. Have patience with yourself, have patience with the process, and moving through it. So finding the right nutrition for your body is going to be key. And really just kind of tuning into that. And it may look totally different, and it may feel like you're doing it wrong, because you may need to be eating more calories actually to get a better result. So cutting calories is not the answer all the time. It's not how this works. So really finding the right nutrition for you. Hormones. Again, I have a book on this, on why hormones are so important. But there's so many women that I chat with that they realize they have women are the queens of patience. Yes, must be the queen of patience here. There's a lot of gals that I chat with that they don't even realize they had a thyroid issue. and they don't know how long it's been going on, or have like sluggish thyroid. That's your metabolism just slowly crapping out on you. So there goes years of being frustrated, right? It's not you, right? There's just something in your system that isn't functioning like it should or working together well, so it's causing a problem. Autoimmune. I'm going to do a whole podcast on autoimmune because it is a really frustrating place to be. I have an autoimmune issue and have had it for years, and really, really, it's only been within the past 6 or 7 years that I've been able to really tune into my own body on autoimmune things. And being an athlete and having autoimmune and being an athlete and high performance and all these other things, that's a whole different ballgame too. But there's a lot of women that I work with and that I'll chat with them and I'll be like, it sounds like your body's like fighting against you. And they're like, yes, it is. I was like, well, that can be a big thing for autoimmune. And the really tough thing about autoimmune is that oftentimes you realize that, or it comes about because you've ruled out all these other things. And then they're like, oh yeah, it's autoimmune. And there's not enough research that's done in the field of autoimmune, how it affects women, how it impacts the hormones, all these other things, right? Like you've barely scratched the surface on autoimmune and how it impacts the human body, right? But a lot of women that I find that they've been struggling for their whole life, they realize years later after, thousands of dollars and so many different doctors and appointments and stuff that, oh my gosh, I have this autoimmune and there isn't that much out there about it. And I don't, holy crap, why me, blah, 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 right? So that can be a tough thing to kind of realize too. Food sensitivities, and this can be something that can change throughout your life. Again, also really frustrating where you're like, it didn't used to be like this. I know it didn't. But food sensitivities, different little things that can irritate your body system, and therefore you're not going to upload the same nutrients that you used to. Your body it gets pissed off. Your intestines get pissed off, and those nutrients can't get through. It's essentially, a cut and dry version of how that works. The last piece here, mindset. And this, I don't want to say, because this is another, this is the frustrating part for women. Again, it's not for lack of trying. It's not for lack of searching things out or doing research or reading books or looking at articles or all these other things, right? You want to find answers. Women are so proactive on their own health. Literally, if you do research on who the drivers are in consumerism, in the health field, everything, it is women. Women are the drivers. Why are women the drivers? Because we want to know what's going on. We go to Google and we want to find everything out, right? It's fantastic. But the frustrating thing is that all this stuff that pops up seems like, oh, it's just this, or it's blah, blah, blah. And again, all that research and all that information is geared towards men, right? So it's not as simple as just, oh, have better willpower. Oh, you need to just stick to this plan. You just need to cut out these sugars, blah, blah, blah. It really, if it was that simple, it would be happening for your body, but it's not. So a big part of the mindset piece is one, being really patient and having to, work through the process of constantly going down avenues and paths to find the right answer for you. Because when you are also in a state of stress, it also will impact your results. Meaning your body's going to stay in this stuck place just because it's so frustrating for you. Yay! Good news all around. Hooray! But truly, having the mindset of, okay, this might take me another 2 years to really dive into, but I'm going to go and systematically try these things. I'm going to look at this different information that I'm getting now. I'm going to continue to research and sort of tirelessly going after the right thing for your body to get different results. Cynthia is struggling with the patience part. I know, right, Cynthia? Everybody does. Everybody does. You're so not alone. But new information can help. And oftentimes realizing that some of your wins are actually wins for your body. So when I talk about how women lose weight differently than men, for women to get a positive, lasting result, the first things that usually come about are increased energy and better sleep. It doesn't have anything to do with the scale, right? You get more energy and everything else perfect. Your body's getting stronger and more vibrant. That's helping to increase your metabolism. Then you start losing inches. Beautiful. Then the scale may start to change. Yeah. And that may take 6 to 8 weeks to see some pounds drop off the scale. Oh, yep. Jessica, you're struggling with postpartum hormone fluxes. Ooh, yep. Yeah. So the other thing about the hormone piece for women too is to also sort of, it's happening in your body, and it feels like this isn't my body right now. I don't know whose body I got stuck in right now, but this isn't me. And your body will do things and things will happen and you're like, I don't know. But, kind of remind yourself, like take little blocks of time and sort of step outside and have a bird's eye view of what's going on. For some of the postpartum things, yep, that's a sort of a temporary time of your life. It may suck, but it's sort of like put that finish line out there, whether it be 6 months or a year after having a kid, to put that up for you. And every body is different. And I know they say, don't compare yourself to other people, blah, 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 but really don't, because it's not the same, right? So example, I was a terrible pregnant person. Every pregnancy, I gained 60 pounds. Yep, 60 pounds. Like that. Yep. Tons of water weight, tons of inflammation. I felt like garbage. I hated it. My younger sister looked like a champ. Oh, look, I'm glowing, blah, blah, blah. And I wanted to punch her in the face, right? She's my sister, so I love her, whatever. And then after having babies, I got thyroid issues. I did lose weight, but I really, I couldn't get the rest of the way. I didn't feel like my own body. And my kids are all 2 years apart. So it took me over a year to feel like myself, even getting close to that, and then I'd get pregnant again. So after my last one, it was a full 2 years out, honestly, before I felt like, you know what, this is really me. My body's responding like it normally does. Seriously, 2 years after having my last kid. That's real. And that was just, one of the things that looking back, I can see that, but when you're in it, it's really hard. Oh, also, my sister would be like, 2 months later, looking and in her pre-pregnancy clothes. Yeah. So there's that. I'm not mad. It's fine. Anyway, so we all have those. We all have that, right? So much time. That's what our body needs. Yes. And so that's the tough thing, is that they have like these standard things. I'm always like, ugh, standard for who? Really? Come on. Standard for who? So, really just give your body the time that it needs. Again, for me, postpartum, it took me a solid 2 years to feel like normal. Is she tall like you? Well, my sister, she's about 5'9", 5'10". She's not, she's not over 6 foot, but yeah. So yes, the second baby. Oh my gosh. Yes. Every time you go through a pregnancy, it's like, it gets worse and worse. I'm just gonna say that, right? You guys know what I mean though, right? That it gets harder and harder to bounce back, because it's that much more of a trauma on your body and your system. Every pregnancy, every time you have a hormone shift, your body really has to recover. And you may need more time. Jessica, with all 3 of your kids, you came out of the hospital weighing less than you did when you got pregnant. See? What? How? But it's different for every gal. So it's one of those things that it can be really frustrating and really tough to feel like, oh, what's happening? Why is this happening to me? And if your body just responds really slowly like mine does, yep, then it's all about the waiting game. Yep. So I know that for me to implement and do some different things nutritionally, when I want to gain some lean muscle, I can really try and push protein and all these other things, but it can take me a month or more to gain 3 pounds of lean muscle. And that's when I'm really pushing it, right? And that's just how fast my body responds. So that's part of it too. Is I want to say having the mindset and the patience and the grace with your body system. Again, my body's not perfect. It doesn't function perfect. And I'm also not perfect every day with my nutrition, right? It's birthday season right now. My son turns 12 tomorrow. And then next Monday, my daughter turns 10. And then a couple weeks after that, my other daughter turns 8. So it's going to be lots of cake here. I'm going to eat the cake. But again, so keeping all those things kind of in mind, that your body's not perfect all the time. So to have grace with it, have patience and grace, and be understanding. And that sort of takes the pressure off. And when that pressure comes off, literally your body will respond better on its own. So having the right timeline for you. If you don't know what the right timeline is for you, then that's something we can chat about. So I'll put a link below to schedule a free call. I'm always, my passion is to help women with their health and to help them learn more about their bodies and how they work and function. So I'm more than happy to chat and just share information and just help women out. If you're finding this information helpful, I would so appreciate you clicking the share button and sharing this with other people so that they can learn more too. Because again, there's so many women that are stuck and frustrated. There's so many people that just don't realize that, it's not your fault. You're not doing it. It's just the cards you were dealt, and you sort of have to figure out how to change hands a little bit to move forward. So there's a lot of stuff that you can look at and work through to get a different outcome, but it's also being accepting on the timeline of said outcome. Yes. So that's what I got for you guys today. So yes, you're going to schedule a call back. Yes, you should. You should. Absolutely. So I'll put that link below. Again, if you haven't had a chance to read this, there's so much good information. I deep dive in on this book. It's on Amazon. And then check my podcast, because I'm going to be doing podcasts on autoimmune, on calories, on so much information. So I appreciate you guys staying till the end of this video. I hope you learned a lot of good info, and I will see you later.